Yes. Do you know that video after have I started? Yeah. That video after so much stress. Misali said I couldn't play. No, yesterday. Okay. We can start. Thank you. It's such a waste of time. As my first started. Okay. Let me close the door after you. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope you had a nice night, enjoyed your rest. I welcome you to today's class. I want to commend some students who have submitted, in fact, who have been steadfast, who have been committed to submitting assignments. Certainly, these assignments will be used to grade you. So don't think that that while you're at home, even if you don't submit assignments, you can get away with it. It's not possible. These assignments are there, they are records, they are already documented. So if you do submit assignments, it will be used for you, it is to your advantage. Or if you don't submit assignments, you will have yourself to blame later. That is why I always implore you to pay attention, be early to class, be available for lessons. So when assignments are given, you're not confused, you don't find them difficult to attempt. And like I always say, I always encourage you to ask your questions. To ask questions anywhere on any topic we have discussed or we have taught in class. Via this medium. To erase every confusion or any form of doubt, and also to provide clarification on what we have learned. So today, we'll be talking about creative writing and some of the tools we use for creative writing. If you can recall, a few weeks before our impromptu vacation or impromptu break, we discussed some types of essays. In fact, we discussed essay writing, composition, and we were able to identify the 4 types of compositions there are, or the 4 major types, and they include persuasive essay, narrative essay, expository essay, and descriptive essay. Now, I wouldn't want to go into detailed explanation for that, of these types of composition, but if you can recall, in all of this, I told us that 4 areas are used to grade them with the acronym COM: content, organization, mechanical accuracy, and expression. Content, organization, mechanical accuracy, expression are the 4 criteria that will be used to grade you. This is WAEC standard now. That will be used to grade your essay, whether it is the letter writing, whether it be a personal composition on descriptive, expository, narrative, or persuasive. Now, today we'll be treating a topic under creative writing. We'll be treating a topic under creative writing. We shall specifically be discussing a tool for creative writing. I told us the last time that this is what we're going to be discussing today. Now, for us to avoid any shadow of doubt, I will call out some names in case you try to send in your assignment and perhaps network was not in your favor. I'm going to read out some names now for some of the names, the person that submitted the assignment to me or that have been submitting assignment. And I implore you, if you haven't submitted any assignment on all I've given, seek or ask any of your colleagues, ask any of your classmates on these assignments. As many that I've submitted, of course, on every assignment I give you, there are grades attached, assigned to every one of them. So if I've given you 3 by now and you haven't done any one of it, you know what that means. You should know what that means. You have 0 in all of this. Habiba Dawudu, you have submitted to Sulaiman Mariam, Rahima Olayinka, Kauta Rufai, Chokwe Bello, Abdallah Usman, Chichi Ifeadi, Kauta Rufai submitted the 3rd one, Sadiq Jumoke, Ramasani, David Adilowo, Salaudin Babatunde submitted to Toyin Nwosu. These are the persons that I've seen so far. I'm going to check again. At the end of today's lesson, I expect all of you to turn in your assignment. You know we have much more than these students. Some actually participate, but don't send in the assignment. Irrespective of the challenge you have, find a way to send in your assignments when they are given to you. Now, our last topic was intonation. We treated the rising and the falling intonation. Specifically, we treated the rising intonation last time we met, and I gave us some functions and some uses of the rising tone. I would like someone to quickly remind us of one use of the rising tone. Iman Adeniran. Give me one function of the rising tone. I'm waiting. Okay, Wikaya. One function of the rising tone.
It is used to make lists.
Thank you very much. That's very correct. Alima Agoro. Give me one function of the rising tone.
It is used to make polite requests.
Thank you very much. You are correct. I think, who is this person I'm seeing? Okay, Abiba Dawudu. One function of the rising tone.
It used to ask yes or no questions.
Thank you very much. You're all correct. Now we shall go to today's lesson. Today's lesson is on, you can see on your slide, figures of speech. Like I said, this is a very important tool when we talk about creative writing. There's no way you can write anything creative, anything catchy, anything fancy, anything interesting that will capture or captivate your reader's attention without making use of figures of speech. It is actually quite impossible unless you're making a scientific documentary. But when we talk about figures of speech, when we talk about creative writing, when we talk about artistic writing, then we make use of figures of speech. Now, what are these tools? What are figures of speech? Now, I'm going to read you a short paragraph, a short text, and we'll see an example, an instance in which a very short passage is being in which figures of speech are being used in this passage, and it's spiced up the text such that you are captivated from the beginning to the very end. Now, but before we continue, I would like us to understand, I would like us to have an aim. I would like us to have a lesson's objective, so you will know what you should take home at the end of the day. By the end of the lesson, you should be able, as a student, to mention and explain at least 5 figures of speech without reading from a textbook, without browsing it. At least. So you should, if you want to give yourself a target or set a target for yourself, you should raise the bar beyond 5. It should be, let's say, 10, 11, 12, or as many as you can even discover on your own. Now, the second objective is that you should be able to use these figures of speech correctly. You should be able to use these figures of speech correctly. Now, let me go now to the text. I'm going to read this text for you, and we're going to discuss it briefly before we go into the main topic of today. The clinking of glasses could be heard at Kiki's party. There was also chatter in different corners as the hostess moved from guest to guest with a beaming smile overflowing with joy. Suddenly a thought. Wham! Someone had fallen down, but they soon realized it was Uncle Titi, the comedian and Kiki's uncle. This was his own way of entertaining his niece's guest. Kiki stumbled out of the room and stumbled on a rickety table on the corridor. Why was she so upset? Uncle Titi was just a harmless man staging a silly joke. Really, it was just a silly joke. I'll take that again. The clinking of glasses could be heard at Kiki's party. There was also chatter in different corners as the hostess moved from guest to guest with a beaming smile overflowing with joy. Suddenly a thought. Wham! Someone had fallen down, but they soon realized it was Uncle Titi, the comedian and Kiki's uncle. This was his own way of entertaining his niece's guests. Kiki stumbled out of the room and stumbled on a rickety table on the corridor. Why was she so upset? Uncle Titi was just a harmless man staging a silly joke. Really, it was just a silly joke. Now, from this short text, I'm sure you can infer a lot of things. You found it interesting, I hope, I suppose, because it is filled with so many figures of speech, from the onomatopoeia to the personification to simile, all inside this little text. That is what kept you captivated. That's what kept you listening to me till the end of the text. It is a very short one. Now we shall go right away to list and identify these figures of speech, which you can use as spice to spice up, to make our writing much more interesting. Figures of speech are words or phrases that depart from straightforward literal language. Figures of speech are often used and crafted for emphasis, for freshness, for expression, or for clarity. A figure of speech is a word or a phrase using figurative language which has other meaning than its normal definition. In other words, figures of speech rely on implied or suggested meaning rather than dictionary meaning. What does this mean? That figures of speech are words that mean something else other than what they mean literally. They mean what? Something other than what they mean. It means that these are words or phrases that possess a separate meaning from its literal definition. It can be a metaphor, a simile, designed to make a comparison. Like I said, a figure of speech is a word or it's a group of words or phrases that depart. It does not mean what it ordinary. If you look at it on the surface, it goes beyond what is the surface meaning. Now, let's take a look at some of them. Types of figures of speech. We have simile, we have metaphor, we have alliteration, we have onomatopoeia, we have hyperbole, we have personification, we have idiom, we have oxymoron, we have palindrome, we have pun, we have paradox, we have euphemism, as we will see in the next slide. Now let's take a look at some of them. What is a simile? A simile is a comparison of two unlike things using like or as. I'm sure the art students are quite familiar with this. A simile is a figure of speech or is a literary device that compares two unlike things, two things that may not even be related at all. But how does he compare them? With the use of like or with the use of as. That makes it quite easy to identify. Once you see as, once you see like in a sentence, then you should be able to know that the figure of speech simile has been used. An example is given on the board. He eats like a pig. He eats like a pig. That means you are comparing the person who is the pronoun he. The person is represented with the pronoun he. You are comparing him with a pig. You are comparing his manner of eating with the manner in which a pig eats. How do we do this comparison? With the use of like, according to the sentence. You are as pretty as a picture. That's the second example now. You are as pretty as a picture. You are as pretty as a picture. Now, we know that pictures are always perfect or close to perfection. Now, this person is comparing an unknown person to a picture. Now, once again, what is simile? When you compare two things, when you compare two unlike things with using like or as, we can call it indirect comparison. In these two sentences now, we have made use of the word like and we have made use of the word as, comparing two unrelated things. I hope that is quite clear to us. You can give more examples of your own. Alima Agoro, give me an example of simile, of an instance in which simile is used. I'm waiting for you, Alima. Okay. Ishmael Mustafa, give me an example of a sentence in which simile is used. Compare two things with the use of simile. No response also.
What?
I see you should give me an example like the one you can see on the board. I gave an example. He eats like a pig. You are as pretty as a picture. You are as pretty as a picture. We are discussing simile. And we said the simile is a comparison of two unlike things, two unrelated things. It is called indirect comparison when you use like or as. So I gave you an instance. He eats like a pig. You are comparing the eating habit of that person with that of a pig. So give me a similar sentence.
She's as foolish as a fool.
She's as foolish as a
fool.
Thank you very much. She's as foolish as a fool. That's quite good. Okay, now let's go to the next figure of speech. We are going to metaphor now. What is a metaphor? A metaphor is the comparison of two unlike things or expressions, sometimes using the verb to be and not using like or as. What do we mean by this verb to be? I'm sure in English we have discussed to be verbs under primary auxiliary verbs. The be verbs, and they are am, are, is, was, were. Now, it is actually very close to simile, but unlike simile, we do not use as, we do not use like. This is what we call direct simile. You just compare the person or that item or that object directly. You compare directly without using as or like. Let's look at an example here. You know, before in the instance of a simile, we said he eats like a pig. We compared this person with a pig with the use of like or as. Now, in this instance, instead of you to say it is like a pig, you just tell him he is a pig. Do you understand? Instead of you comparing now with us or like, that is too far for you. You just directly compare and say he is a pig. It does not mean that as you have said this person is a pig, the person will not automatically change into a pig or transform into a pig. It means that you are still comparing, but now it is now what there's a direct linkage. There's a direct linkage between this person and a pig. You are a tulip. You are comparing this person with a flower, a tulip. Okay, I would like Yusuf Kazim to give me an example of metaphor. A sentence that contains metaphor, direct comparison.
He's a lion.
Thank you. Thank you. That's quite good. But who are you comparing here now? You're comparing somebody to a liar.
A lion, a lion.
Oh, he's a lion. That's good. He is a lion. Nice. Faiz Adeyemo. Give me another example, a sentence.
She is a ganja farmer. Why you
Who is speaking behind you?
Nobody.
Who then spoke just now?
I don't know. She is an animal.
She is an animal. Thank you. That's good. Okay, let's go to the next one. What is euphemism? We use euphemism to replace an expression that may sadden or offend somebody. It is used to make a serious issue less serious. It is actually used to trivialize, you can say that. It is used to trivialize a serious issue. Let's give an instance of what I mean. For example, someone just died. Instead of landing such heavy blow and say, oh, this person is dead, you just say what? Oh, he or she passed away. Or you can put it this way, he or she has gone to meet his maker. Okay, now if you know of someone that has gone to prison or has been sentenced to prison for maybe any particular crime, how do you say that using euphemism? How do you soften or cushion the effect of such statements? Because sometimes it may offend or it may be too heavy to the person's ear or such person's sensibility. We can say that this person has been sent to a correctional facility. Now, if you know someone that is a liar, you know, you are certain, but you don't want to that you directly call the person a liar. Perhaps the person may get offended. You may just say, oh, you are quite economical with the truth. That means you don't say the truth all the time. But because you don't want to just direct tell the person you are a liar. Now, you want to refer to somebody that is jobless. How do you say it in a very soft and diplomatic way? You say, oh, he's between jobs. That means the person is not currently employed, but is in between jobs. Now, you are in a very, very polite and good place where people are, and you want to visit the ladies. How do you say that? Do you just open your mouth and say, I want to go to the toilet? No. You just take permission and say, okay, may I use the restroom? You don't need to use such words because to some persons it may be offensive, especially when people are eating. I'm sure we get the gist of it now. So I'm going to call on somebody to give me an example. Ishmael Mustafa. Like I said, euphemism are expressions that are used to soften effect because it may be offensive. Maybe it is used to trivialize serious issues. Now, I want you to give me an example of a sentence that has euphemism, euphemistic sentence.
Her mother passed on.
Thank you very much. That's nice. But I want an example I didn't give you. Can you think of one now?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. Rakib, give me an example of an euphemistic
Ma'am, can you just
sentence.
put it in the previous slide?
What did you say?
Can you please put it in the previous slide?
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Give me an example. I'm waiting for you.
Can I go to the restroom?
Of course, I mean, I want an example I haven't given you. I give you some examples because these are expressions that we use every day. So give me some of the ones that I didn't give to you. Let us be creative.
I don't know anyone yet.
Can't think of one. Okay.
Mike can call Fatima.
You don't have to be the one to tell me who to call. Rahimat Salau. Rahimat. Give me an example. Okay. Aziz.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good thing respect.
You are low.
Yeah, what?
Low budget.
Okay. Okay. And what does that
poor.
mean?
Like you are poor.
Okay.
Low budget.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Maybe you are poor or you are really broke right now. Sunny, you're raising up your hand.
Her mother keeps the bucket.
Thank you. That's quite good. Her mother kept the bucket. Her mother died. Thank you very much. Now let's go to the next figure of speech. Now, you will test your knowledge, but not now. Okay, let's look at alliteration. Please keep quiet. Don't speak. I don't expect you to speak until I ask you to. Let's look at this because of time. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of initial consonant sounds of neighboring words. Alliteration is the repetition of initial consonant sounds of neighboring words. What does this mean? It means that in a sentence, if the words in a sentence, the first letter, if they have the same consonant sound, it means that we will have what? Alliterating sound there. Let's look at this. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. What is the alliterating sound, the consonant sound there? This sound. She left the heaven of the heroes and came down to make a man, and came down. She left the heaven of heroes and came down. If you look at this sentence, we have the what? The sound there, represented by the H, by the letter H. We have the sound. We have the sound. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's what? Represented by the H. The second one, to make a man to meet the mortal needs, a man to match the mountains and the sea. The friendly welcome of the wayward well, of the wayside well. If you look at this, it's actually a text. What is alliterating there? The consonant sound. The consonant sound represented by the letter M. Okay, let's move ahead because of time. That is quite easy. Alliteration. Please note, when it is alliteration, the consonant sounds are what look at, not the vowel sounds. It is when we repeat consonant sounds, and please don't be deceived by the letters. Okay, now let's look at paradox. Paradox this is seen in a statement that appears contradictory, but which is true when you look at it closely. Example, unity in diversity. What is a paradoxical statement? A paradoxical statement is a statement that is contradictory when you look at it, but on closer examination, when you think on it, when you ponder on it, when you consider it, you realize that, oh, this is actually very true. For example, the sentence or the phrase there, unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. You're wondering, unity in diversity, these are contradictory, but no, when you look at it, despite our difference, there should be what? Unity. War is peace. You want to say, oh, that is quite nonsense, but no, you look at it, war is what? Peace. War is peace. How do you mean by that? Or who can actually who can explain that for us? Rakib.
That's
Explain the phrase war is peace. I'm waiting. Najiba.
getting music. Get now.
We're talking about paradox. I was asking Rakib to explain the term or the phrase, war is peace. Okay, because of our time, which is getting spent, he failed to explain that. War is peace actually because in the absence of war, there will be chaos. What even prompts war? War is prompted in order for peace to reign. If you ponder that closely, you would understand. On that phrase is the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end. A rich country, penny wise, pound foolish. Please take notes down and note this phrase I'm calling out. Unity in diversity. War is peace. The beginning of the end. A rich country, penny wise and pound foolish. Now, if you look at these phrases, contradictory words are put closely, and yet they still make sense. You'll be asked to explain them later. Pun. A pun is a play on words. It is another way of showing your skill as a writer or user of a language. To express two or more meanings in a sentence. Let me take that again. Pun is a play on words. It is another way of showing your skill, just like showing yourself as a writer or user of a language, as you use one word to express more than one meaning. Let's give an example here. Same word with two different meanings. The sole owner of the beachfront crushed the hapless soul with his soles. The sole owner of the beachfront crushed the hapless soul with his soles. Now, the first soul, S-O-L-E, means only, the only owner of the beachfront. He now crushed the hapless soul. Now, soul, this second soul, is what? A type of fish with his soles. That means with his sandal, a part of a shoe. But we have used that word S-O-L-E, soul, in 3 different ways, and they mean 3 different things. Now, look at the second example. You can bank with our bank. You can bank with our bank. The first bank certainly means you can rely, you can trust, you can rely on our bank. You can trust our bank. The second bank is what? A financial institution. A financial institution. Now let's continue. Now, what is this word? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. And onomatopoeia is a word that imitates the sound that it represents. An onomatopoeic word is a word that imitates the sound that it represents. An example, a common one, is the buzzing of the bee, the buzzing of the bee, the chiming of the bells. Why do we say the buzzing of the bee? Because when a bee comes close to you, the only thing it does actually is to make this sound, the buzzing of the bee, the chiming of the bells, the chiming of the bells. It is normal for bells to chime. The boom of the explosion, the boom of the explosion. This word, by the sound of the word, it explains what it's already represented. The meaning of the word is represented by the sound of the word. And it's quite easy. But note that it is different from pun. Pun is what? A play on words, making use of one word in different ways to mean different things. Okay. Let's go ahead now. Before we do our test, I think we'll take a very short test. Okay. There's this test for us. Create jokes using the following words as pun. The first one has been done for you. The superstar wondered where his fans were, and one of his assistants produced a fan. The superstar wondered where his fans were, and one of his assistants produced a fan. Of course, when we talk about the first fans, it means what? Fanatics, supporters, admirers. But the second fan is what? A tool for cooling the face or cooling the body. So now you are going to use this word bag, toe, change, table, and week. In the same way, this word fan has been used. You have 2 minutes for this. I hope you understand what you have been told to do. You have to create jokes using the following words as pun. The first one has been done. The superstar wondered where his fans were, and one of his assistants produced a fan. You have 2 minutes, a minute now. Please note the word so you can do it later. You can't finish up now. Fatima, I don't think you understand what we are doing. Mariam. Bag, toe, change, table, week. The week is W-E-E-K. You have a few seconds. Fatima, that's nice. A week without food makes one week. That's nice. I think you should continue that trend and stop writing nonsense. Now we will continue with what we have been doing. We have treated onomatopoeia, we have treated pun, we have treated alliteration, we have treated metaphor, we have treated simile. We have also treated paradox. Now we are going to talk about hyperbole. A hyperbole is an exaggeration or an overstatement. It is quite simple. Hyperbole is what? Exaggeration or overstatement. His feet are as big as boats. His feet are as big as boat. Is it possible for one person's feet? Even a giant's feet can never be as big or as large as a boat. But now, we are now saying somebody's feet are as big as boats. It is clearly exaggeration. I nearly died laughing. I nearly died laughing. We know that people can die of sadness. People can die of, negative thoughts. But can someone die from laughing? I don't believe so. Now, here, one day, embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard round the world. That is and that's also an example. Let's continue now. Go to the next. Personification. What is personification? This entails giving human qualities to things that are not human. It is very, very easy because we are now you're now giving the attribute of a person to a non-human, to something that is not alive. Giving human qualities to things that are not human. The moon looked down on me. It's only possible for a human being to look down on you. How can you now say the moon looked down on you? You are now personifying what? The moon. Now, what is an idiom? An idiom, we are talking about an idiom now. An idiom is a saying that means something different from what it says. An idiom is a saying that means something different from what it says. An example, it's raining cats and dogs. I don't know, but I don't believe I've ever seen a cat or a dog or even any creature for that matter falling from the sky as a result of a heavy downpour. It's almost impossible, in fact, very much impossible. But that is what an idiom for you. Now, what is an oxymoron? I hope we're taking down notes, at least write down this figure of speech so you can research later. An oxymoron, these are words that are opposite, used side by side. Remember, in paradox, they are used in the same expression, not necessarily side by side. Now, these ones are used what? Side by side. Hot chili, open shame, open secrets. These are what? Oxymeric statements. Now, let's go to this one. Palindrome. These are words that are used, that are spelled the same word, spelled frontward and backward. That means they mean the same thing. These are the same words spelled frontward and backward, and they mean the same thing. We have example here: race car, evil, olive. If you spell this race car backwards, you will still arrive at these same words, at the same number of words, at the same word. An example, we have example even of names. More examples of palindrome, we have Adam, we have Anna, we have Bob, we have Eve. Now, it's time for our classwork. Test your knowledge. I hope I've been able to explain this figure of speech or literary devices. Note that these mean the same thing. Literary devices, figures of speech, they are what? All the same. Now, test your knowledge. He clustered and clanged as he washed the dishes. Which figure of speech is used here? It is clear. I'm going to call on someone. Yes, onomatopoeia. Thank you. Life is a beach. Life is a beach. Now we are talking about number 2 now. Thank you, metaphor, you're correct. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. What figure of speech is used here? Thank you very much. Yet I can see your answers in the chat. Alliteration. That's quite good. The river falls under us like a trapdoor. The river falls under us like a trapdoor. What is the answer? Simile. Thank you. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Is that true? What is the answer here? What is the figure of speech used here? Yes, hyperbole. A. Now, don't delay dawn's disarming display. Dogs demand daylight. What figure of speech is used here? Onomatopoeia, alliteration, or hyperbole? Thank you, alliteration. I've heard that joke a billion times, but it still cracks me up. I've heard that jokes a billion times, but it still cracks me up. What figure of speech? Yes, thank you, hyperbole. The glass vase is as fragile as a child's sandcastle. The glass vase is as fragile as a child's sandcastle. What figure of speech is used here? Metaphor, alliteration, or simile? Thank you, simile. The buzzing bee startled me. The buzzing bee startled me. Hyperbole, onomatopoeia, metaphor? What is that answer? Yes, onomatopoeia, correct. She looked at him with fire in her eyes. She looked at him with fire in her eyes. What is the answer here? Metaphor, correct. The sun draped its arms around my shoulders. The sun draped its arms around my shoulders. What is the correct answer here? Personification. The sun does not have any arms, does not have arms. You look like $1 million. You look like $1 million. What is the answer now? I'm seeing A, I'm seeing B. You look like $1 million. The answer is actually simile, like. Remember, like. Thank you. You look pretty ugly in that dress. What is the answer? B, oxymoron, because pretty and ugly are placed side by side and they are contradictory words. Last one. The boy shouted, "Madam, I'm Adam." The boy shouted, "Madam, I'm Adam." What is the figure of speech used here? Palindrome, because if you look at it, it's spelled the same way. I'm an Adam. Thank you very much. I hope we enjoyed today's lesson. If you want to watch this over again, you can go to YouTube and get it and download the video. Today there'll be no assignment except for the classwork part. Many of you that didn't finish, please go back, finish up. All of you should take that as your assignment. We are supposed to take this as our assignment, but because of time, I couldn't display it all for you. So you go back, that classwork, now finish it up as assignment and send it to me. They're just five words. Thank you very much and have a good day. I look forward to the next lesson. Bye-bye.